The road to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness has been paved with major ups, major downs, controversies, massive delays, massive reshoots, setbacks, recastings, a new director, all sorts of things. Now let's get back to where it all originally began. The original director of Doctor Strange 2, Scott Derrickson, versus Marvel Studios. It wasn't too long ago that we heard that the entire reason that Scott Derrickson left the project was creative differences. Now, when somebody says creative differences, that can mean various things. And that is one of those, how should I put this, polite ways to say, yeah, we had completely different styles, we didn't see eye to eye, we argued over it, so creative differences is a good PR spin. Again, this is done all over the place in the industry. Recently, sitting down and talking to Empire Magazine, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige went over the development of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and Scott Derrickson's involvement very early on was brought up. He said that first and foremost, he loves what Scott did, and he loves Scott as a director and as a person. And he believes that Scott feels the same way about him. And that despite people not believing the whole creative differences thing, that is legitimately what happened. They did not see eye to eye because they had creative differences on the direction, the story, and how they were going to get from point A to point B. So there we go. Honestly, I'm glad to hear this, and you definitely get the sense that Scott Derrickson does not hate Marvel Studios. Like, he never went after them in like a bloodbath type of way, right? He never went out there and did like a Joss Whedon or a Zack Snyder, for example, where they put the studio and the people running it on blast and they start sharing stories about how the people there are terrible and all that. You know, that was never done. Like, he's never done that. He always did say they just didn't see eye to eye. They wanted to make two different movies. He just didn't agree with them. They didn't agree with him. And that was the end of it. They couldn't see eye to eye. They wanted to rush production on it because at the time it was right before the pandemic and they had a deadline. He needed more time. They were like, no, we got to get this film out. He wanted more time to be able to work on some of the creative elements. They couldn't afford to give it to him, so he left, and then the rest is history. And of course, we know some of the quotes and things that have been said by insiders and scoopers have been really exaggerated. Like, oh, they wouldn't let Scott Derrickson make the scariest movie of all time. He wanted to make Sinister for Doctor Strange, and that was never the case. We know this because he said that in the past. So overall, it looks like it was legitimately creative differences. They just didn't see eye to eye in terms of where does the plot go and how do we get there.